This is not a mask. This is confidence.
It's for getting out and working anywhere other than home.
This is not a mask. This is solidarity.
It's for opening the door to a friend and keeping the doors open to your favorite places.
This is not a mask. This is a sign of love.
What is happening, good people? Welcome to the big show. This is Monday Madness. I'm your host, Jeff C. I hope you had a pleasant weekend. If it's possible in this day and age, I hope you got out and got some fresh air. What is happening, good people? Welcome to the big show. There is me coming in. So yes, we are officially underway here. This is Monday Madness. We have a lot to discuss, of course, here. This is the channel for diversity, inclusion, open borders, immigration, LGBT, PQNSW, XYZ, We just love, and we love Biden, of course, and we're hoping that everyone's voted at least once or twice. Of course, it is the big selection this weekend, this week, tomorrow, I guess, is the official day. They say 100 million votes have already been cast, but we'll take a little look into the great selection tonight, as you see with the cover sort of thumbnail. And we're going to talk about a lot of important things, like cats, of course. What else is important out there? There's other animals that are very important, like kittens. I guess that's the same as cats. So we like to talk about cats here because we're so inclusive, right? And this is YouTube. And therefore cat videos. I'm thinking, of changing my gender and doing cat videos every single day, because I think maybe I could get on trending then. It's possible. So I'm looking at different ways of increasing my reach. So, yeah, we'll get a little bit more serious as the show goes on. As you probably know, there's been a massive purge that has happened over the past month or so. Not too many channels still left standing. I'm surprised that I'm still up, but I did clear out the bulk of my content. So we do have to bob, duck, and weave and kind of roll with the punches. Doing this type of work, obviously, puts a huge bullseye on anybody that is going against the narrative of the corporate media, of the globalist, of course. So, we're going to take a look at a lot of what's going on, and I encourage you, if you can, to support the show. If you're wondering how you can help support the show, I do have a Patreon link in the description. It really helps me a great deal, so I appreciate that, and that's the best way that you can help support the show. What did you do on the weekend? Like, did you get out? Did you have nice weather? Maybe it's getting kind of cold here. I am in Rainbow Unicorn Land, so. But yeah, this is kind of expected. There's so much going on around the world that it's hard to know at times. I always have trouble just trying to fit everything into a show because there's so much I don't want to miss out on. There's so much going on. And then there's undoubtedly things that the unknown unknowns, Donald Rumsfeld, the things that you don't know sort of thing. There's a lot of things obviously happening in many corners of the world right now that are very alarming, dealing with what's happening, especially with the virus sort of thing. So there's some pretty troubling things coming out of the UK, so we will be taking a good look at that. So I'm going to start off here just taking a look here at one of the big stories that came through here on the weekend. So I'm going to share my screen here, and we'll take a look at this. We got Bojo here. I'm going to start with the whale sculpture in the Netherlands that stopped the train from going off the track. Since we love animals, and I do love animals, everybody knows this, right? I mean, this is a cat channel. This is a cat video channel. Everybody knows that, right? And I am changing my gender, and of course I am very diverse and inclusive, and I love immigration and open borders and all these things. And I've tried to vote for Biden at least 33 times over the past weekend. So I'm doing my part, Lady Gaga and everyone else. So please allow me to speak a little bit longer. So whale sculpture in the Netherlands stops train from going off the track. I find this, I know it'd be pretty hard to stage something like this. There's a lot of videos and images coming forth. So, I mean, I don't know if they orchestrated it. I don't know how something this bizarre happens, but I do find it's very Agenda 21-ish sort of thing, if you can see where I'm coming from, sort of thing. So you got this whale sculpture and this train that was going off the track. I don't know, is that an SSC? And it's is that a 33? What's going on here? And somehow the train was kept off from collapsing or going into a fireball by this whale sculpture in the Netherlands here. And then you got people here taking a video of it. Maybe we'll take a Bloomberg quick take here. And you can see. It's bizarre. It's almost like it's a sculpture itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you wonder, it's possible that they could just stage something like this and then all of a sudden report it in, sort of thing. Oh, there's a train that went off the tracks. I don't know how something like that could possibly happen. But again, with Agenda 21, the symbolism too is there pretty strong. The train that is heading off the tracks right now, if you haven't noticed, it's happening. There's a runaway train here. I think Bill Gates is in the engineer, whatever you call it there. He's running the train right now, and it seems like it's going off the tracks. And I'm talking about the good train of good people, sort of thing, the world, and where it's heading, sort of thing. So this kind of makes me think of that. It makes me think of Agenda 21. Right? And again, whales being a big symbol of Agenda 21. The oceans, number 14, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, John Podesta has that kind of infamous photo of himself with the water and the 14 on his hands. And a lot of people were saying he's fishing for teens or whatever. But actually, it was just about the 17 objectives or goals, global goals. They're globalist goals of this NWO, of course, and number 14 being the oceans. So the oceans are a big part, and I agree. I mean, we have to keep our oceans clean, and of course, you know, whales are extremely important, and we're almost hunted to extinction, and now they're recovering, which is really nice to see, along with many other species out there, because hunting restrictions and other things have come into play. So, yeah, there is a story here off the Guardian. Whale sculpture stops Dutch train from crashing into water. Metro train overran stop, coming to a halt 10 meters above ground on a huge plastic tail. Plastic can hold up the train. It's pretty strong plastic these days. And here you get a different view of it. A metro train that overran the stop blocks at a station outside the Rotterdam has been left balancing 10 meters above ground on a plastic tail of a whale sculpture. The metro driver was reportedly able to free himself from the train without injury after the incident shortly after midnight on Monday morning. So midnight, Monday morning. I guess it's something they could put together at that time. Probably not a lot of people. You see a bunch of houses here in the background, it looks like. Kind of look Agenda 21-ish. I don't know if they're solar panels or what. They're like group huts here. Of course, the Netherlands is mostly, or a good third of the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken, is like really seawater or would be below water sort of thing, if it weren't for the dikes. So it's very flat and fertile sort of thing. So I don't know. I guess this is Rotterdam here. So Martin Sturgis, who made the sculpture of two tails emerging from the water beneath the elevated metro line, said he was surprised the sculpture had held together. He said, "I couldn't have imagined it that way, but it saved the operator's life. The damage is an afterthought. I was amazed it was so strong. When the plastic has stood for 20 years, you don't expect it to hold up a metro train." So the artwork, saved by the whale's tail. What? You cannot make this SHIT up. That's the name of the sculpture? The name of the sculpture is saved by the whale's tail, and the story is a train that was saved by the whale's tail. I guess you cannot make this up, obviously. It was erected in 2002 by De Acker Station and Knees, I can't pronounce these things, on the outskirts of Rotterdam in the Dutch province of South Holland. It is made of reinforced polyester. I'll show you that briefly. Global goals. Everybody needs to know these things. Like everyone you know should know what's going on. They're not hiding what's going on. It's all there. And it's not it's amazing that I'm a conspiracy theorist, or people refer to me as a conspiracy theorist, when I'm dealing with absolute reality 99% of the time, at least on this show. When I talk about what their objectives are, it's all there. You can go and see it yourself. They don't hide it. And the global goals, of course, of Agenda 21, the Sustainable Development Project, Agenda 2030 to be specific in this case, are readily accessible to anybody with an internet. So it's not a conspiracy. And the global goals here, the GG here, if you want to see, there it is, life below water. So conserve and sustainably use the ocean, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. We have to harvest the plankton in order to make the Soylent Green. But actually, we learned that in the movie, the Soylent Green isn't made from the plankton. That's the lie that the globalists tell you. It's actually made from, well, you know what Chuck Heston says about Soylent Green. If you don't know, well, I'm going to spoil it. Well, actually, you should go and check it out. But the 17 goals, of course, here. So this is just for the year 2030, but this is all what's happening right now. Everything that's happening is all about this. So please take the time, if you haven't already, to familiarize. I used to have so many videos on this. It was crazy back in the day. To delete all thousands and thousands of videos that have gone down, unfortunately. But them's the breaks when you do this type of work. Anyways. So there's the whales. Here is the election, the selection, as I like to call it here. Trump, Biden, and they hit the battlegrounds in the final hours before the U.S. selection. So let's take a look here off the City News.
With the finish line in sight, a final push for critical last-minute support from Donald Trump and Joe Biden, with just hours to go until the election south of our border.
Whoa, Cleveland! Whoa! North Carolina, thank you very much.
YMCA.
Beaver County. Pennsylvania, we love Pennsylvania.
Battleground bingo, the candidates stumping in key states as Americans set early voting records.
I got here around 7:15, and it's very encouraging to see all these people out here to vote.
The number of early
Wait
ballots
a second. What did this person have? Something made monster. I don't know. Can't quite make out what the first word is here. Man-made monster? I don't know.
The number of early ballots cast hovering around 100 million. National polls show that...
So that 100 million, this is like, okay, I don't know if you know this, but I believe fully it's a selection. Even if by some miracle it wasn't, it's still Coke or Pepsi kind of thing, meaning whoever's going to get in is going to do mostly the globalist sort of agendas. Just like Trump has been doing. And but if by some chance, right? Actually, you just throw that out of the window. Don't even think about the if. But the 100 million advance sort of votes is very interesting, because you could see how it's going to be spun. If Biden gets in, they're going to say the youth came out in droves and they listened to the messages of the celebrities and the movie stars and whatnot that told them to go out and vote, sort of thing. And then they're going to say how successful the whole campaign was. And then they're going to sell to Black Lives Matter and Antifa and everybody else that this is change now. We're look what all the stuff that you have done has has manifested in this sort of outcome. You have done this. You're the heroes. Give them that false sense of freedom and security that they absolutely do not have, while this police state is being fully implemented and all the screws are being tightened. And if Biden gets in, it'll be even worse because he is more on the left, of course, of the whole left-right paradigm, and he'll push even more extreme things than, of course, Trump would ever push. I believe that Trump is probably going to get back in, and for good reason, because he is the ultimate polarizer. And if they really want to destroy the free world as we know it, having another 4 more years of Trump is going to plunge United States. Well, I mean, they are orchestrating it, so don't get me wrong when I make it sound like it's something that could be organic and it has nothing to do, or it's not even remotely organic, but it could, of course, plunge, or it would be the perfect sort of recipe for civil war to break out. And we've shown a lot of the predictive programming with civil war, a lot of video games and whatnot, of course, the Marvel comic book movies and so much more. And I believe that, I don't know if it's fully going to manifest the way that we might imagine it, but I think in a way you've already got a civil war in its infancy. And of course it has been completely orchestrated for the most part. And we saw a lot of this over the past year, especially with the race wars that was all sort of coded and orchestrated in order to bring about the chaos that we have right at this moment. So you can see Trump getting in, and there would be just so much anger. And then there would be gloating from the MAGA people who would rub the salt in the wounds of the Biden supporters and whatnot, and would probably go to the extremes of celebration, and this would lead to more violence and more chaos. So that's why I think Trump is going to get back in, because I think they want chaos. I think they want full chaos. Not that if Biden gets in, it's not chaotic or anything like this. As I said, I kind of feel that there's a strong possibility of an assassination type scenario being played out. And when I say assassination, I'm saying that in quotation marks, on a beach in Tel Aviv type assassination. But I always think that, or I have thought since Trump has been in office, that he would be the perfect sort of candidate for such an operation, because it really would. If they really want to drive a massive wedge between people, which they already have, but if they really want to cement that or just rip it apart completely and turn the whole country into chaos, you could see a Trump being reelected with maybe an assassination plot. And I don't want to laugh about that, because if anybody was seriously killed, it wouldn't be funny, and nor would I ever endorse that type of behavior or action, but I would believe it would be a script. So just pay attention if that does play out. So we'll listen a little bit more here.
The Democratic nominee is leading, but Biden's edge is narrow in swing states, keeping the door open to a possible Trump victory.
I think it's terrible when we can't know the results of an election the night of the election.
The Republican nominee continuing to baselessly cast doubt on the integrity of the election. Tens of millions of mail-in ballots could mean counting could take days or weeks.
Yeah, and you could have that scenario play out, which is a high probability, where there's like a no real full decision, and then there's a whole lot of anger and frustration and recounting of ballots, and and then eventually it's just at the last minute the Biden, they give it to Trump, and then people just go crazy, right? I could see this playing out. Like, I can really see this, because again, like, it would be nice to believe. I'm not saying, I don't tell people not to vote, because I think in principle it's an interesting idea. I kind of believe that idea, but then they don't believe it at all. Like, this is the reality is, I've talked about this a lot over the years, is that the people that run the show do not believe in democracy. They laugh their asses off at democracy. In fact, Game of Thrones kind of showed you that. If you saw the much maligned final season of Game of Thrones, and I showed this, I believe, maybe on Supreme Lord Commander or something like that, where they had at the end, the final episode, where they were trying to decide who's going to lead Westeros, like who's going to be the king, the next king or queen or whatever. And the fat guy, Sam Tarly gets up and says, well, if whoever's going to run it is going to affect everyone, then perhaps we should leave it up to everyone to decide. And then they all start laughing their asses off, right? Oh, I'll get my horses to vote, The people, some of them were making jokes. I'm talking about the aristocracy of Westeros, or the noble families or whatever, leading families. But that is really how they feel. This is all it's all theater. It's all a big circus, the whole election itself, and all the big politics that revolve around it. If you study the works of Edward Bernays and Henry Kissinger and others, you'll see that they have no interest in whatever you might believe is the way society should run. They believe that they should be, the determiners of all things, sort of thing, and that the democracy is just a sham. It's kind of an illusion that is used to pacify the masses into thinking, making them think that they actually have a choice, or they actually have a say in the outcome, when they really don't at all. And they'll flip back and forth, obviously, between the Republicans and Democrats. And it just goes back and forth. It's the left-right game, right? It never goes more than 8 years one way, and then it's going to be, so if Trump gets in again, you can almost bank it that the Democrats or the demon rats will get in 2024 or whatever, right? So anyways, play a little bit more here.
Which is legitimate. In fact, no state ever reports final results on election night. Races are only unofficially called if one candidate seems to have an insurmountable lead. Still, Trump is already threatening a legal challenge in Pennsylvania.
We're going to go in the night of. As soon as that election's over, we're going in with our lawyers.
Pennsylvania's Attorney General firing back, tweeting, "Fact check, our elections are over when all the votes are counted."
The president's not going to steal this election.
Biden responding Sunday to a report that Trump plans to declare victory on election night if early returns have him in the lead, something Trump denies. And a sign of growing security concerns, early Monday reports that a non-scalable fence is going up around the entire perimeter of the White House as tensions mount.
Oh, I don't know if you can spot that. I caught the flag. I was like, oh my gosh, it's up here. It says Black Trans Lives Matter. Oh, it's too much. Black Trans Lives Matter. I say Black Cats Matter. I've been trying to start a whole movement to, because black cats have always been treated poorly throughout history and have always been demonized, and all the sort of superstitions that revolve around black cats, and I think it's too much now. And so I believe that we should all be campaigning for Black Cat Lives Matter, and we should be promoting the lives of black cats first and foremost, ahead of everything. Then maybe the black tranny lives will matter after the cats. But yeah, anyways, you see how the whole thing is playing out. It's interesting. What a bizarre what a bizarre time we are in. Nothing is the same. Everything's changing so rapidly. And it's like everything's just falling apart here as they tighten the screws on their NWO.
Over the weekend, vehicles with Trump flags blocking traffic in New Jersey. Similar scenes in other states, too. After a pro-Trump convoy in Texas surrounded a Biden tour bus carrying staffers, blocking the campaign to cancel it.
It's like the Road Warrior. That'd be awesome, too, if they actually, started firing, I don't know, missiles and arrows and whatnot. And they climbed up on the bus, tried to take it out or whatever. I'd almost pay to see something like that. It'd be entertaining. Again, one thing I've been pointing out for a long time is the whole the pickup trucks and the MAGA people are always in the pickup trucks. Typically the Ford F-150s or whatever they're called, right? The Chevy, the big sort of, trucks, white trucks, often with, of course, the Trump MAGA symbolism and flags and everything else. You wonder how much of this is just pure theater that they do. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it all was to a certain extent. But yeah, that's that's pretty hilarious.
Events as a precaution. The FBI now investigating.
Now they're
So they
investigating.
escorted the bus.
Trump claiming his supporters were protecting the bus. From
No.
what? It's not clear. He cheered on the convoy on social media, also saying,
In my opinion, these patriots did nothing wrong. Instead, the FBI and justice should be investigating the terrorist, anarchists, and agitators of Antifa who run around burning down our Democrat-run cities and hurting people. This is just the role that Trump has played throughout. Just recently, when he was being interviewed by that creature, and she's like, "You gonna call out white supremacy?" And he's like, yeah, but I believe the terrorists are Antifa. Like he always, this is the left-right game. It just played out in every way. So yeah, that whole bus thing is all staged, right? It's just staged to throw out there because like it's psychological mass manipulation that's happening, right? Like they are manipulating the masses. They're whatever side you're on, the left or the right, you're constantly being inundated with new things to get angry about or get patriotic about, right? Or, like get more hunkered down or cemented in your position, right? If you're on the left or the right, every single day. It's very bizarre, the manipulation of the masses, how that works. And so much of it is pure theater, but it has to be there every day. There's really never a let up, and it seems like that the people that are involved in this is all they do, and it's all their whole world revolves around, sort of thing. So yeah, it's not surprising at all, not even the least. All right, coming out of the closet as a Trump supporting drag queen.
Coming out of the closet as a Trump-supporting drag queen was difficult. I lost a lot of friends, but it was worth it. And I realized I will never go back into the closet again. Trump 20. I did it as a Mormon, did it as a conservative drag queen, and from now until the day I meet Jesus,
you see how it's no different, right? It's like there's no difference. Try to point this out. I mean, for so long I've been pointing out the how it works, in the sense that conservatives believe that they, are voting, or that they're not being manipulated, or that they actually stand for conservative values, right? And a lot of them do, but they don't understand how easy it is to manipulate them. It's like cheering on this lady MAGA. And it's like these Trump supporters would cheer this on, without saying, how crazy this is. Here's a drag person here. Got to be careful what you say, though, on YouTube. But yeah, they've been sticking these people. So one of the things I like to point out, and I'll show you guys this, for years and years I've been showing these two. So just go to the top conservative transgender critic. So we'll ask the top conservative transgender critic is a transgender. So you just have to put that in your head. So whereas in the past, the Conservative Party would never even entertain this as a reality or as, a way of life. Now they have conservatives that, are full-blown transgenders who are the top critics. So you've already bought it, hook, line, and sinker kind of thing. So with Blair White, and then you have the left right. So you have Blair White, you have Dennis J. Riley, or Riley J. Dennis. Let's put Riley. So these two clowns on ScrewTube are a great example of the left-right paradigm and how it's played out. The clown on the left is a guy that dresses up as a girl, dates women. Oh, you gotta like that, eh? It's kind of like Bruce Jenner, eh? Caitlyn. Dennis here dresses up as a woman, and he puts out all this crazy stuff saying that, you know, you're transphobic if you're a straight male and you don't date transgender people, you're transphobic, sort of thing, or you're a bad person. Whereas Blair White will come in and say that's crazy, of course, and you know, so they just play off each other endlessly, sort of thing, right? That's one of the ways that it works, the whole left-right paradigm, and it's on every element of your society. So this is just one element of it. Anyways, let's move on from that. What else I got here? Yeah, we're gonna talk about, before I get to the the plague. Talk about some of the incidents that have happened. So they had this Vienna attack here, 6 different locations. 6 different locations. Terrorist attack? I wonder who's capable of carrying out something like that. I don't know. I won't give any hints away. So you gotta love this footage here. RT, and they just show you a bunch of cars parked and then some checks and all this. And yeah, so you had attacks here in Vienna in which they claim 6 different locations, 6 different bombs. They love the 6s, of course, you know that. Here's Vienna shooting, at least 1 dead, multiple injured after shots fired near synagogue. I'm sure it's a kosher shooting.
Police in Vienna have shut down a number of streets in the inner city following multiple shootings. According to police, they started around 8 o'clock local time at the main synagogue of Vienna.
Upon hearing some shots downstairs, I looked down the window and I saw the attacker running into various bars and restaurants which are lined up on our street, and people running away, and this 1 or 2 attackers chasing them all over the street. That's all I saw.
There are now reportedly 6 different crime scenes that authorities are dealing with. People are being instructed to stay in their homes.
Stay in your home.
Police
stay in your homes.
Reportedly 6.
And people running away, and this 1 or 2 attackers chasing them.
I guess it's hard to count to 2, though, eh? To me, it's hard to count to 2. I don't know. Maybe it's not hard for you. It's 1 or 2. I'm not sure. It's got to be one or the other. But we can't expect people on the corporate media to be able to count that high. All
over the street. That's all I saw.
There are now reportedly 6 different crime scenes that authorities are dealing with. People are being instructed to stay in their homes. Vienna police posted on social media that 1 person has been killed and several others injured, including
I can tell this is 100% true. There's no doubt about it. We have seen lots of police vehicles. We've seen police. We've heard some ambulances. There's no question this actually happened exactly the way that they say. There's no question whatsoever, because I can't believe that people would actually question this stuff. I mean, it's crazy. You think people would actually sit at home and think, maybe that's not real. No, this is real as can be. There's no question about it. 6 different locations, 1 death, 1 or 2 attackers, according to an eyewitness. Happened at a synagogue, or near a synagogue. So, yep.
Police officer. The Interior Minister told Austrian broadcaster ORF that the incident is believed to be a terror-related attack. However, police have not confirmed that detail. The situation is ongoing and details are changing. We're monitoring what's happening. As we get confirmed information, we will, of course, provide updates. You can also follow this story at Global News.
Yeah, so you got to follow it at globalistnews.com. There was another one here in Quebec City. Now, this one is interesting. It's a sword. Somebody used a sword. Of course, if you're familiar with Rainbow Unicorn Land, our Prime Minister, Justine Trudeau, just recently banned 2,000 guns in Canada without any sort of legislative process. Of course, we don't live in democracy here in Rainbow Unicorn Land. I mean, you'd wish that we had some sort of say in what is actually happening, but we have no say. But there was a an event that happened last year in Nova Scotia, and they used that to start banning thousands of weapons. Over 2,000 weapons have been banned. So now you have this sword attack. So you're going to ask me, hey, Jeff C., do you think they're going to start coming after swords? Yeah. They're going to come after butter knives next. I mean, they're not going to stop until you've got a plastic spoon. That's all you're going to get, a plastic spoon and some Soylent. Maybe they'll give it to you in a styrofoam container or something, right? But yeah, they've got, remembering the victims of the Quebec City attack here. Let me just see if I can find a better video here. Let's put Quebec City sword. Yeah. So we got the Canadian Brainwashing Corporation who hate my guts. Night of Horror. Let's check this one out.
Quebec City's chief of police is calling it a night of horror.
I guess
the deputy premier described the events as barbaric. Stabbings took place near the Chateau Frontenac. The suspect, now in police custody after a 2-hour manhunt in Quebec's capital city, is a 24-year-old man from the North Shore of Montreal. Dressed in a medieval costume, police say he used a Japanese saber-style sword.
So he's dressed in a medieval costume, and he had a sword, and it took you 2 hours to find him? 2 hours? And this is like, if you don't know Quebec City, Chateau Frontenac is like right at the heart of downtown Quebec City, which prior to 2020 was one of the major tourist destinations in all of Rainbow Unicorn Land. So, yeah. So a guy dressed up as like a medieval knight managed to thwart the police for over 2 hours? And he had a big sword? I don't know.
4-year-old man from the North Shore of Montreal. Dressed in a medieval costume, police say he used a Japanese saber-style sword to attack 7 people. Police say they were chosen at random. 2 have died, 5 others are in hospital with major lacerations, but there is no fear for their lives. Police say the suspect is not linked to any terrorist group. He is suspected to have mental health issues. Quebec City Mayor Régis Labaume says this tragedy reminds him of the 2017 mosque shooting.
The mosque, it reminds me of that. I mean, I wish I could say what I'd like to say, but you know how it works. So the mosque shooting, so you guys remember I covered the mosque shooting in 2017. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I watched hours and hours of snowbanks, and there was some ambulances, that's for sure. I definitely saw some police vehicles. Did I mention the snowbanks? I saw a lot of snowbanks. There was police vehicles for sure. You want to believe what's on your television? Go ahead. Enjoy your programming. All I can say is what I look for are the solutions. That's what I look for. What happens when these things happen? What do the politicians say? This one over here, there's got Régis Labaume here, who's the mayor. This thing over here, she's been popping up everywhere with the whole scamdemic sort of thing. Geneviève Guilbeault. So they're saying it reminds them of the mosque And it wasn't even a mosque, by the way. It was an Islamic cultural center. It was the same Islamic cultural center that received a pig's head and was all over the media like 2 or 3 times before the whole thing went down with the snowbanks. So I don't know. I find it interesting that all the people that were killed in the mosque, the Islamic center, were all foreigners, and they were all buried overseas, apparently. I don't know. There's another little tidbit about the mosque shooting that is interesting. It was carried out by an identical twin. So yeah, if you do see that guy walking around, hey, aren't you the guy that killed all those? No, that's my brother. It's my brother. He's the bad guy. I'm identical twin. He's not me. It's my brother. I got him locked up. Don't worry. He's locked up. He's put away for a long time. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, when I see killing carried out by an identical twin, I kind of wonder. But we should ban wondering. We should ban thinking. Obviously, the year is 2030, and I have no privacy. I own nothing, and all my thoughts and dreams are recorded. But I've never been happier. That's the world I'm going for. I don't know about you guys. That's what I want. I want that world where I don't own anything. I have no private property. I have no privacy. All my thoughts and dreams are recorded, and I've never been happier. That's it. That's the one. I'm going for. That's the reality I want. Night of Horror. Hey, did it happen on Halloween by any chance? Isn't that interesting? I mean, it wasn't technically Halloween, but maybe it was, kind of thing, because I don't know what time it happened at, but if it was this is November the 1st, we're in November the 2nd, so I guess it was Halloween. So a night of horror in Quebec City on Halloween. Ho 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 ho, get it? Yuck 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 yuck.
National debate needs to happen about mental health and crime.
Listen to that. Oh, what are the solutions? What could the solutions be? Let's ask Regis here.
Mosque shooting. He says a national debate needs to happen about mental health and crime prevention.
Mental health and crime prevention. See, those are the things that really interest me. When they tell me, there's been a shooting and they show you a bunch of snowbanks, or they tell you there's been a stabbing and they show you a bunch of snowbanks and some vehicles, I wonder if I should be more concerned about what they're going to do about it. That's what I don't know why. I'm not. Maybe it's just because I'm stupid. I don't whack my head with a mallet 500 times a day. Don't watch the dumb turds. But yeah, I wonder about this. So now there has to be this national sort of dialogue or operation about mental health. And what was the other thing?
Needs to happen about mental health and crime prevention.
The
deputy premier who lives in Quebec City says she is devastated by what happened, and she wants to assure people the government is making mental health services available to anyone who needs them following these attacks.
Solutions. People do bad things. That's the world that we live in. People do bad things. Most of the time, people don't do bad things, right? But sometimes people are going to do bad things. I'd rather live in a world where people occasionally do bad things and people die than live in a world that has solutions for every so-called bad thing that's ever happened. But yeah, this type of stuff, you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder, folks. You really do.
All necessary psychological help is being available right now as we speak for...
What's with the black... What's going on here? Like, who gets black fingernails? I know black fingernail lives matter, but isn't that a bit weird for a deputy prime minister to have black fingernails? I know it matches her black... whatever she's got on, her shirt, dress, /suit, whatever androgynous sort of thing you're going to do, sort of thing. But yeah, black black painted fingernails. I don't know. Maybe she was out and she's doing. Maybe she was dressed up as a medieval knight. It's possible. It's just came from the party and into the press conference. Possible.
Of course, the families and close people to the victims, but for anyone who needs it. And on a regular basis, resources are available, and it is important to ask for help if you need help.
Due to COVID-19 measures, all Halloween parties were banned Saturday night. The authorities say the killer's goal was to stab as many people as possible, and they say if this had happened during normal times, there would have been many more victims.
Oh, well, there you go. Hey, Chuck, what up for the lockdown? Yeah, yay, lockdown. Lockdown save life, folks. Lockdown save life. If people were out partying, there would have been a lot more people stabbed by the medieval knight with the sword. Of course, if the medieval knight had a sword and you're at a party and maybe you dressed up and you had a sword, you could fight the medieval knight. I don't know. It's possible. But yeah, I wonder about this. I wonder about Quebec City being in lockdown and hardly anybody being around. I wonder if maybe it's easier to do theatrics. Like, I wonder if maybe you had a play that happened out on the streets that maybe if there's not a lot of people around and everybody's locked inside and everybody's being told not to go out and party and all the parties are banned and the trick-or-treating's banned and everything else is banned, I wonder if maybe it might be easier to do theatrics outside. It's possible. It's possible. Maybe people wouldn't notice that it's theatrics. It's possible. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on. Here are the victims. I'm going to look at the victims because, you know, I'll end up making fun of people or saying things. Here you see suspect in medieval costume wields samurai sword. And again, will they ban samurai swords? Yeah, absolutely. They'll ban everything. They're going to ban everything. Trust me, you won't be able to get a butter knife in 2030. You will not be able to get a butter knife. You won't be able to. We got plastic knife for you. Justine Turtle. I think we've made sure that plastic knives are available for people who need to cut things. You know? So yeah, you see the stories. Quebec, time after time. Quebec, Halloween sword attack, 2 killed, 5 wounded. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I say the same thing. Yeah, Kitchener today. It's unbelievable. I took the words right out of my mouth. Right out of my mouth. Could it be a Brothers Grimm tale? It's possible. Possible. We'd have to ask Genevieve. Genevieve, what have you been doing with your black fingernails? What has she been up to? You gotta wonder. I don't know. What does it say about somebody who gets black fingernails? You're just gonna have to tell me. Black fingernail lives matter. I'll tell you that much, though. Mexico's Day of the Dead. Oh, here we go. Oh, they love their Day of the Dead. Always gotta have your festivals and your death mask and everything else. And here is your Day of the Dead, takes a somber tone. Well, it's a Day of the Dead festival. I mean, does it already not have enough somber tone to it? Amid coronavirus pandemic.
Abuelita por parte de mi papá y la abuelita por parte de mi mamá. Siempre, mi abuelita vivió con nosotros. ¿Ok? Sí, faltó el mole, faltaron los tamales.
What's the point? You got one person and a whole family with a mask on? Is this the one with the bad breath? I don't understand. It's like,
Y ahorita acabo de pasar pues un problema.
Who gets the hot dog? Did you notice that? Did you guys catch that? It's like a hot dog here. Oh man. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't laugh about this stuff, but I don't know what's going on here. And you got like chocolate death head here. There's a beer can. There's some fruit. I guess it's real fruit. I guess there's some limes, it looks like, and there's a hot dog. What's going on with this hot dog? That looks disgusting, by the way. And he's lighting candles, I guess. I don't know.
Y ahorita acabo de pasar pues un problema muy grande, que falleció mi esposa. Va a cumplir 2 meses mañana, 2. Y y pues me dejó a mis hijos. Y pues ahorita más que nada hay que echarle ganas. Y pues ahora sí que es lo que le digo a mi mamá, ¿sabes qué? Pues vamos a poner la ofrenda.
Set up an altar. Hey, don't forget to bring out the hot dog. I don't know. I don't believe anything off the media, so you'll have to forgive me. I don't believe in anything. Look, RCMP, CSEC, CSIS, whoever's listening, Mossad, 8200, GCHQ, NSA. I don't know. I mean, there's probably some of them listening. I don't believe the television. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. Sue me. All right, let's move on here. Oh, your favorite. You haven't had enough of this, of course. Boris Johnson. Now, all of a sudden, martial law is being declared. All of a sudden, apparently, everyone in Liverpool is going to be tested for this. Like, they're not going to have a chance here. My patrons are informing me on this, the ones that are over in the UK, so thank you very much.
Said he regretted the anguish that the restrictions would cause, but that he was left with no alternative. Our political editor, Laura Kuensberg, has more details.
3 days until the locks are turned. Time for discussion, but the decision isn't really in doubt. After weeks of resistance, the Prime Minister moved to back a shutdown.
Prime Minister!
But this afternoon he had to explain to Parliament why the change of heart. Just as first time round, his reason, stopping the NHS from collapse.
Let me spell out the medical and moral disaster we face. The sick would be turned away because there was no room in our hospitals.
First time round, his reason,
Just
stopping the
wanted
NHS
to pay
from
attention
collapse.
to this
Let me
here.
spell out-
Look at the song. Look at the tape. The tape. Yeah, I don't know. I tell you this, right? Like, I'm sure people know this, but I go to the supermarket, of course, and I flaunt the rules at every chance. So I purposely, like, normally I don't even think about it, but I purposely look to see which way the arrows are going, and then I go the opposite way. And I just, please say something, please say something, please say something is always in my head while I'm doing it. Yeah, look at this clown show. Look at this one up here. The purple hair. What's going on? Yeah, they're social distancing to a certain extent, it seems, and they got the tape out and all that crap.
The medical and moral disaster we face. The sick would be turned away because there was no room in our hospitals. Doctors and nurses could be forced to choose which patients...
I like the way he's kind of doing it in past tense, but he's referring to the future, or he's stating that this is going to play out like this. Right, somehow. Why don't we get... I mean, the simplest thing, of course, of all would just have everyone go to the hospitals and just walk in and see if there's anybody there. And then if everybody went to all of the hospitals and we all said, where are all the sick people, then maybe this charade would stop and people would go back to work. But instead...
to treat who would live and who would die.
Interesting, too. He's got the poppy, but he's got like a green sort of leaf, it looks like, behind the poppy. I don't know exactly what that is supposed to symbolize. Perhaps Agenda 21?
Who would live and who would die.
Yet only a fortnight ago, he had mocked the idea, standing in the same place at the dispatch box. But arguments from a miserable-looking Chancellor and many on the Tory backbenches lost out. The Prime Minister reluctantly accepting the case for tighter limits.
These restrictions are time limited. After 4 weeks, on Wednesday the 2nd of December, they will expire. But I cannot pretend that the way ahead is easy or without painful choices for us all.
Remember, schools will stay open, and other parts of the UK are following...
Why do they say it's painful choices for us all when they're all allowed to work and we're not? I don't understand that. Like, I look at Doug Ford every day, and he could barely fit into his suit, the Michelin Man, and he stands there and he says, look, I know people are hurting. Well, what do you know, you big fat tub of goo? I mean, like, seriously, what do you know? You're working, you're making lots of money. Everybody else is not. or most people are not. So how do you know what the hell is that we're going through, sort of thing? But yeah.
Different rules. This isn't exactly the same as the spring.
Leader of the opposition, Keir Starmer.
But the charge the government's been too slow is familiar.
At every stage, the Prime Minister has been too slow, behind the curve. At every stage, he's pushed away challenge, ignored advice, and put what he hoped would happen ahead of what is happening.
No, great. The opposition is just asking for more tyranny. We need more tyranny. That's what they want. They're criticizing him. It's all a script, of course. You understand that, right? Like when Bojo comes out a couple weeks ago and now he's contradicting everything that he said. Well, that's just the script. That's how it plays out. Trump does the same thing. Turdo does the same thing. It's all a script. It's an accordion. I tell people all the time they ease and they squeeze, but really it's generally squeezing. You know, there's not a lot of easing these days. A little bit of ease here and there, and then they squeeze tighter. Every time when they do squeeze, the screws get tighter as they implement this full-on sort of global lockdown.
Every stage he's overpromised and underdelivered.
The lockdown comes with all kinds of heavy costs, though. Nicholas in Bournemouth was made redundant first time round. Just yesterday, he started his own business.
Obviously, going into lockdown now, the injury I'm in, I can still continue to work in the financial advice sector.
There's a good old chap.
It's going to make it very hard.
But Karen, who hopes to form
Karen!
with
We
her...
don't want to hear any Karens. Shut up, Karen. Shut up, Karen. Oh, that's the way to treat Karens.
Children is frustrated.
I think it's absolutely, totally nuts and wrong to do any lockdown.
Polling suggests most of the public, like pensioner Joe, back the plan. However reluctantly.
They've got to do it. We've got to.
They've got to do it. Look at these actors that they've got. Here's another person. That's just a random person off the street. There's another actor.
Break. Try and get things under control again.
But the financial pain will be acute. Thousands and thousands of jobs have already gone. The government's racking up billions of borrowing, trying to keep the economy afloat, extending the furlough scheme in England and support for the self-employed. But the fear among business about what's next is great.
Economic damage is unavoidable. Gas tanks are depleted. Batteries run down in so many businesses across the country, in retail, in hospitality. Our aviation sector absolutely on its knees.
Back in Parliament, the Prime...
It's the Great Reset. I mean, none of us are surprised because we know exactly what you crooks are doing. This is all orchestrated collapse. That's what it is. Orchestrated collapse. Repeat after me. I mean, it's clear what's going on. Anyways, let's go there. Coronavirus lockdown. PM warns UK faces medical disaster without action. So we need to take away more of your rights. We need to lock you down more severely. And then you got the Day of the Dead in the COVID times. What does developing a COVID-19 vaccine look like? This is what it looks like here. We got the thing. We got these plastic things. We stick them in, and we got this guy with his face shield and his diaper on his face. I mean, yeah, I don't know. What does it look like? So, yeah, what was I going to show you? I had something else to show you dealing with this. Oh, yeah, here's a clip here where he's declaring martial law. I like this. This is kind of funny here. Check this out.
The army has been brought in to work on the logistics, and the program will begin in a matter of days.
Where do they get these little people from? I'd love to have one of these little people next to me, you know, doing sign language all the time. Everywhere I went, you just have this little person next to you. It's the clown world.
Working with local communities, local government, public health directors, organisations of all kinds to help people discover whether or not they're infectious, and then immediately to get them, to help them to self-isolate and stop the spread of the disease.
Stop the spread of disease. And then we got this. Look at this douchebag here. Frustration grows over flu shot appointment canceled. I can't get my flu shot. I can't handle this. They can't handle it. They can't handle it. They can't get their flu shot. People are just outraged. Let's watch.
The issue surrounding flu shots being in short supply has seemingly become that much worse.
Oh my God, what we're gonna do? We can't get her flu shot, please!
High demand. Now those appointments are being canceled by major pharmacies. All the while, the province says there shouldn't be an issue.
No, there shouldn't be.
Want a flu shot? There's none to be had depending on where you go. Pharmacies have now resorted to canceling appointments, leaving people who have already been waiting to wonder when they'll be given that extra line of defense from getting sick.
Because there was an expectation of more supply was coming in the weeks and days that have preceded us in the last week. That's meant
It's Justin Bates. I wonder if he masturbates.
days that have preceded us in the last week. That's meant that many pharmacists have had to call and cancel appointments and put people onto waiting lists until they have more vaccine on hand.
Many people posting the cancellations they've received on social media, expressing their frustrations with wanting to get vaccinated and potentially having to wait weeks, if not months.
Oh, you gotta
Premier
see that.
Doug
You gotta
Ford,
see
the
that.
vaccinated.
Yeah. Appointment cancellation with Rexall Pharmacy. Hi, Leanne. Your flu shot appointment has been canceled due to a lack of vaccine supply across Ontario. Vaccine supply is determined and allocated by the Provincial Ministry of Health. All efforts are being made by our pharmacy to secure additional dosages promptly. We will send you a notification if flu vaccines become available. So at Lillian 1017. I wonder. I don't know.
And potentially having to wait weeks,
Oh,
if
this
not
is terrible.
months. Premier Doug Ford, though, says it's not on him. It's the pharmacies, despite claims that there are plenty of flu shots to go around.
So don't overbook people. It's very simple.
Look at this guy. This guy's got the mask that shows his face. Oh my God. What a clown world. Oh my God. You guys are a bunch of clowns. Look at you. Wow. Wow. This is just unbelievable.
You knew exactly how many flu shots you had, similar to
Yeah, he's
shoppers.
nodding. He's like, yeah.
So don't
yeah.
overbook. If
Don't
you know you have
overbook.
X amount of flu shots, book X amount of flu shots. But, you know, if you have 100 flu shots, don't book 200 people. You won't have the problem.
The province says
The genius of Doug Ford. It's just the genius. The hash king of Etobicoke. If you've only got 100 flu doses, don't book 200. Gee, really? Nobody thought of that before, Doug. It's unbelievable. I mean, come on. Seriously, people. You're disappointed because you can't get your flu shot. I mean, come on. There's easier ways to get the flu than... Well, actually, that's probably the easiest way to get the flu.
more than 5 million shots were ordered, with another 350,000 on the way and money to order more. McKesson Canada distributes the flu shot to pharmacies and says they're in discussions with the province and federal government.
Incidentally, I should talk about this for a second. I wanted to talk about this because, like, around this time of year, I do try to watch some horror films, and I've only watched a couple in preparation for the Halloween show that I did on Jeff C. Alive with a bunch of good people. But I did catch Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's a pretty bad adaptation of Frankenstein, although Robert De Niro does a pretty good job as the monster. Kenneth Branagh is absolutely atrocious as Dr. Victor Frankenstein. But maybe I can find that. The Mary Shelley Frankenstein vaccine. Doctor killed or something. Yeah, this is it.
No, I'm serious.
So they have, like, this movie came out in 1994. I should have talked about it on the Halloween special, but I was blown away because I don't know if it's Vienna or France, or I don't know what country it takes place in. But there's a plague that's happening. And John Cleese plays a respected doctor who's trying to vaccinate people. And there's a scene in here with Robert De Niro, who's an anti-vaxxer. So he's an anti-vaxxer who vehemently tries to resist getting vaxxed. And he ends up stabbing the doctor who's trying to, he's like, for heaven's sake, I'm trying to save your life. And then he ends up being hung, and then he ends up becoming the Frankenstein monster.
Yes. You take vaccine, for instance. 30 years ago, the entire concept of vaccine was unheard of, and now we save lives every day.
So, yeah, you just heard that, right? I'm careful not to play more because I know how the copyright thing works with movies. There's Kenneth Branagh, and I'll see if I can get the closed captions here. See what he says here. He says, for instance, 30 years ago, the entire concept of vaccine was unheard of. And now we save lives every day. But that later the best way to cheat death will be to create life. So, yeah, in this film, this is the John Cleese character here. It's hilarious because I'm like, is that John Cleese? It looks like John Cleese. I'm like, and apparently they put prosthetics on him because he's so recognizable that they were like, oh, if everybody wouldn't take him seriously, so they kind of made him look a little bit different. But there's a scene here, and this is the Robert De Niro character that you see coming in. So there's a plague, there's a virus that's happening, and there's a lockdown. And the lockdown, everybody's fleeing the city. And they're trying to vaccinate all these people. And so the Robert De Niro character is, I don't want the vax! Don't put that in me! He's like, don't you stick that in me!
That's right, Pop. It's not pox, it's a vaccine that will prevent a plague in this city. What's that? It's a tiny, harmless amount of anti-smallpox serum. You just said pox! I said it was harmless. It's a necessary precaution without which this godforsaken city would be immediately put under quarantine.
So yeah, very telling. I can't play anymore because they'll definitely hit me for a copyright strike and shut down the podcast. But yeah, he gets killed. Robert De Niro character says, no, you're not sticking that at me! You're not sticking that at me! And he stabs him.
You're not sticking that at me!
Stabs him and kills him. So he's an anti-vaxxer. He gets hung. And then he ends up becoming the Frankenstein monster. You can't make this SHIT up. I just thought it was so bizarre because what are the chances that the movie that I actually, because I like Frankenstein, I like the whole story and Mary Shelley and all that, right? But what are the chances that the one horror movie that I actually did watch had this whole scenario playing out, this whole vaccine sort of agenda? So from 1994, you could see how long they've been pushing this type of programming on the masses. So it just gives you an example of how strong the programming has been, and we talked quite a bit about that in several podcasts, but on the Halloween show as well. Okay, so what do we got here? Oshawa woman honors vets with Remembrance Day face mask. Hey, that's great! Here you go, Grandpa! Here you go, I got a muffle for you. Put this on your face. Oh.
Every year, I crochet poppies in memory of my uncle, and I donate all those proceeds to the Legion. Obviously, this year it's a little different, and I was left wondering, what are we going to do? I can't send people out there selling poppies in the public.
But she thought one thing people really do need right now is face masks.
Why not put a poppy, unless we forget, on a mask and just see? And it started with,
So Kathleen Schwartz got to work in her Oshawa home.
Kathleen Schwartz, I don't know. Always seems to be a certain tribe that are always making these things and on all these stories. Lest we forget. I guess we got to remember something. I'm not sure what it is.
Thinking she'd honor Canada's veterans by making a handful of these masks.
And so you just thought it would be kind of a fun thing to do so that you could personally...
Look at this story. I mean, it's like, are you interviewing somebody or are you saying their lines?
So you just thought that this would be kind of a nice thing to do, and so we just thought we would just get you on and do an interview with you and put you on national television, because we got to shill this crap.
God, I hate these people.
Handful of these masks.
And so you just thought it would be kind of a fun thing to do so that you could personally raise money to donate, right?
Right, because I was left wondering, if I can't sell my poppies, how will I make my donation this year?
That actually became more than she was hoping for.
So you said you started off with a few friends and family ordering them, and then it kind of exploded on you.
Why don't you just say all their lines? God, I hate these. God, please do something about the media. Please. I mean, come on. Seriously. Why don't people just say this is ugh, these people.
Became more than she was hoping for.
So you said you started off with a few friends and family ordering them, and then it kind of exploded on you.
It did. Well, I got a little inundated. There are a lot of orders. I think to date, I have just over 400 orders. I had to close the order window because I have met my capacity.
How much time had you expected to put into this, and what has it kind of become for you?
Well, I thought, a couple of days of work, I'll pump out 100 masks and I'll be done with it. It just kind of turned into an assembly line. So now I'm looking at probably a full 10-day workload.
Because she has to rush to get them all delivered before Remembrance Day.
Is there a comparison for you to your crochet poppies and what you're usually able to fundraise with those compared to what you've been able to do this year with the masks?
Absolutely. We're on mark to donate over $5,000.
Just
wow.
Shut up! Oh, God. I can't say anything. I'm just gonna freaking. Look at this turd here. BC confirms unprecedented 1,100 new cases of COVID over the weekend. Oh, there we go. More than 6 have died. Yeah. How old were they? What other underlying conditions did they have? No, you're never going to tell them that. No, Kobe. Damn. Every time I hit the desk, my mic bobs up and down and goes lower. I have to keep lifting it up. Geneva, why the world's highest minimum wage was needed. There you go. So the universal wage income, Geneva, one of the richest countries, of course, Switzerland in the world. And here they are bringing in the universal wage income. Of course, Geneva is a wealthy place, home to a huge private banking sector. Gee! Oh, there you go. It's done. All right, we know now. Thanks for that, BBC. Yeah, we know. We got the answer. Why the world's highest minimum wage was needed. Well, here it is. It's a very wealthy place, and it's home to huge private bankings. That's it. Okay, thanks. We got the answers. It's done. It's over with. That's the answers, folks. You don't need me to read any more of the article. You don't need any more of it. You know the answer. Why was universal wage brought in? Well, because that's where the banksters are headquartered or have a lot of their operations. So there you go. Here is Quebecistan here, post-media here. In the wake of Quebec City stabbings, Legault highlights mental health concerns. You see? There's always got to be a solution to the problems, of course. There's somebody hugging. There's no question. Now I know that the whole stabbing definitely happened. I can tell 100%. I see a couple people here hugging. There's no question in my mind that this went down exactly as they say. Then you got this. Check this out. We got nothing could have stopped what happened in Quebec City. So nothing could have stopped.
There's
nothing could stop the show? Like nothing? What if there was like a lighting or a electrical failure or something? I don't know. Like, you sure there's nothing? What if an asteroid came out of the sky? An asteroid hit Quebec City. Would that have stopped the stabbing? Probably not. I guess not. But
this concern that 5 years ago the suspect made threats or, said that he expressed some desire to kill in the manner that he killed on Saturday.
There you go. Social media. He said some things. He made some threats, and you guys didn't follow through with it. Now we're going to have to go back and check all your social media. And then, Lionel Carmont here. Minister Delugue à la Santé au Service Social. So he's the Minister of Health Services, I guess.
Why wasn't he able to access the resources that he needed if he has been sick for 5 years? It seems like that should have been prevented.
That's it. Why isn't the government doing more to survey all its citizens all the time? That's what I would ask. Why Why aren't you guys watching every single thing that we're doing? Why aren't you recording our thoughts yet? Do we have to wait till 2030 before my dreams and thoughts are recorded too? I don't want to wait that long. I want my thoughts and dreams recorded now.
The system. Where did he fall through the cracks?
Where did he fall through the cracks?
About this particular case, but a number of patients with mental health, with psychiatric diseases, fall short because they don't want to be taken care of, or they don't take their medication.
See, and the whole narrative too is this: is like everything. How did this person fall through the cracks? So, like, this isn't supposed to happen. You remember Minority Report, right? You know the movie there that takes place in 2030, in which they have thought crime and all that crap. Yeah, this isn't supposed to happen. Well, wait a second. Don't we live in a free society? I mean, like, people do kill each other now and again. Sometimes people go crazy, but that's a free society. What kind of society are we going to live in, right? I mean, of course, what they want is beyond disturbing. And this is why they're setting the whole thing up. They're going to use all the different so-called events that have happened, and they're going to call for this national sort of discussion on mental health. Of course, I've been showing you the mental health agenda, which you can't escape. It's all around you all the time. Let's talk about the mental health agenda. So, you know, the solutions are coming, folks. The solutions. This is what the globalists do. It's all about solutions. Create the problem, right? Create the reaction, bring in the solution. And here we go.
There's a number of issues. But you raise an interesting point that we've addressed, is that there is a gap when children or teenagers with mental health get into adulthood. There is a gap, not only in mental health, but in a number of diseases, but specifically in mental health. And we've addressed that with our program called Air Ouverte. So now we take care of
Air Ouverte, which is so ironic, because if you don't know, well, you know what air means. Ouverte, if you don't know, means open. So open air. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I got a paper in my face. You know, isn't it ironic?
Youth with mental health from age 0 to 25. Exactly, so they don't fall between the crack during that period of transition.
They fall between the
when
crack.
They leave home, etc., etc. So it's very important for us to put forward this program, which is called Air Ouverte, and which will help maintain services beyond age 18. I'm not saying that in this case it would have made a difference, because again, this is unpredictable, but I think it's going to be a significant value to our mental health system.
So you would agree that no amount of money or services could have stopped or prevented this tragedy that we saw yesterday, and that so you're
all right, then if that's what he agrees to, then it's over with. Then don't bother coming up with any solutions, because he's just saying, well, you agree, then no matter what money or services were provided, it wouldn't have stopped this from happening. Well, there you go. There's no solution to it. Sometimes people go crazy and sometimes people kill people. But of course, no, it's not how it's going to play out. You all know it. They're going to say, well, Justine Turtle's going to say, it's time for Canadians to start taking mental health seriously. It's time that we start really employing more tactics for the government to watch all citizens.
At the same time, nothing could have stopped that, right?
I agree with you. Nothing could have stopped what happened this weekend. Again,
I beg to differ. A small asteroid probably would have put an end to it. There is a small asteroid, by the way, is like supposed to be coming today or tomorrow or something. I don't know. Neil deGrasse Tyson was going on about it. But yeah, and then you got this. Check this out here. Bill 21. I felt excluded from Quebec's society. Well, you know, I mean, some people belong in Quebec and some people belong in Afghanistan. I'm not sure, though. I can't be the one that tells you where you belong. I know that I don't belong in Afghanistan. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm not sure about this lady. Maybe you would belong in Afghanistan more. Now, I don't think there's any issue, of course, because we're all being forced to wear face diapers. But, yeah, complaining here, I felt excluded from Quebec society. I don't know. I mean, like, where does it work? I mean, can you just go to any country and automatically everyone's got to accept you? Everyone's got to put rose petals down at your feet? and kiss your kiss your derriere and everything else. I don't know. How does this work? Can somebody explain it to me? I'm not sure how it works. I just find it weird that people come from the other side of the world that have completely different way of life and dress and culture and religion and everything, and somehow they're feeling excluded. I mean, I don't know. What do you want them to throw a barbecue for you? Like, is that what we should do? Throw a barbecue and I don't know, a pool party? If we had pool party, but would you wear a mask in the pool? I mean, what would you wear in the pool? I don't know. What are we supposed to do? I don't understand. I'm just not, I don't understand. I'm trying to be the most inclusive person in the history of the world. That's why I do this show, because I believe in inclusivity and diversity and LGBTQ, XYZ, open borders and everything. Like Biden all the way. I voted 33 times this election. But yeah, I just, I'm confused. It's like, if you come from another part of the world and you have a completely different culture, completely different language, you have a completely different way of dress, you have a completely different religion, and then you come to a place where everybody's different than you, then I don't know. Is it the fault of all the people here? I guess so, obviously. Of course you know that. It's all our fault. Bad people. We're bad people. I know people that have been here for many generations. You're bad people. Quebecois people, you're bad people, obviously, right? I mean, come on, seriously? People that just got off the boat are much better than you. They're much more Canadian than you are. Who the hell are you? But yeah, I felt insulted as a Quebec citizen. I felt excluded from Quebec society. I don't know. Maybe if you took the tent off your face, maybe then. I don't know. It's just a suggestion. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know anything. I know absolutely nothing. I don't know. But if you do dress like you're in Afghanistan, I don't know if Quebecers, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're going to throw you a pancake party. I'm not sure. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But obviously, we're the problem. Obviously. Look, obviously the people that live here are the problem. We're the problem. We've got this society and culture and all this, and you know what? We're just not inclusive enough. That's just the problem. We're not inclusive enough. Why aren't we out throwing pancake parties and pool parties for these people? It's unbelievable. We should be throwing bonfires for these people. It's out of this world. Quebec people are just terrible, obviously. So I felt insulted as a Quebec citizen. I felt excluded from Quebec society. Ikarik Norel Hack said as she testified at the Superior Court, the first person ever to mount a legal challenge to the CAQ's government controversial secular law. How ironic is it that the Coalition d'Avenir de Quebec brought in their secular law in which they ban religious symbols in public buildings? So that's what the whole thing is about, right? It's we got to be maitre chez nous. Let's protect our culture. Yeah, we're all on board for that. But let's put face diapers on everyone. I mean, how ridiculous is the CAQ right now? Right? When you think about it, I'm talking to the Quebecois that are listening, right? Like, how ridiculous is it? It's like they came in with this they got, one of the reasons they got elected is because they were going to pass this, right? And they're going to ban this type of religious sort of invasion into their country because they're like, hey, we got to hang on to our culture. And then now you all have to wear a face tent. You all have to put this stuff on your face now. I mean, it's just so crazy. Wow, it's just insane. It's so crazy when you think about it. That's Bill 21, by the way. Let's move on here. Here is, she recovered from COVID-19 just before her 109th birthday. Well, I mean, I guess. I mean, what are you supposed to say about this, right? I mean, you got to 109. Holy crap. I mean, seriously? Like, are we supposed to celebrate? Or what's supposed to happen? I mean, I guess you're supposed to buy into it and say, wow, thank God she lived. I mean, seriously. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not even going to play it because they'll just come after me. British Brainwashing Corporation, U.S. nears 100 million early votes cast before Election Day. I don't know. Like, that's the big story here. Lady Gaga here. The countdown. Lady Gaga, anti-fracking activist. So there you go. Wonderful. You're going to play that role now. Now we have chosen you. And there's that story that I showed you with the city's world highest minimum wage, the deadly terrorist shooting in Vienna. Okay, there's nothing much else here, is there? Anything else? 4 ways the U.S. election affects people in the U.K. And no, that's all. Then we got CNN here. It's all election. Everything's election. The whole thing is election, pretty much. Countdown to selection day. Oh, yeah. How about this? 20% of grocery store workers had COVID-19 and most didn't have symptoms, study found. Most didn't have symptoms. It's the only virus in world history that you have to take a test to determine whether or not you have it. It's just incredible. Imagine if you're somebody and they told you, oh, yeah, by the way, you have COVID-19, but I don't have any symptoms. Yeah, but you've got it. But I don't have any symptoms. No. You don't need to think about that part. That part is irrelevant. You have no symptoms. It doesn't matter. You have it. You were told that you have it. That wonderful PCR test proves that you had COVID-19. Now, you've suffered now, obviously, right? You put you in the numbers. But yeah, check this out. I wanted to bring, one of my patrons sent me this article. I can't remember who it was. Thank you very much, of course. And here you go. 20% of grocery store workers had COVID. They're frontline workers. I mean, seriously, your baggage guy has got to be the most important guy in the world right now. And then here they are. And this whole grocery narrative is played out. Now, we've told you about where all this is going, doing the shows with Camille and many of the other shows that I do, talking about the future, no grocery shopping, drones, delivery, Blue Apron, Soylent Green delivered to your home, or you go to the World Food Council and you get a slice of beef on your birthday kind of thing. That's the way it's going to go, of course. But I found this interesting because they're putting this fear of grocery stores. In fact, they put out that grocery stores, where is it here? Yeah, check this out. So this was the article here that I covered. I freaked out. I almost broke the table when I covered this article. This is by Nathaniel Mayerson here. Here on CNN. Experts say it may be time for grocery stores to ban customers from coming inside. This was from Sunday, April the 19th. So a few months back. 4 or 5 months ago, right? They wanted. I remember freaking out because they're saying they're gonna ban customers from grocery stores, and this is where it's going because they want to take control of your food supply. So they need to take you away from the whole equation of choice and selection and all that, and then you can get your Blue Apron sort of meals coming via your drones or your Spot the Robot dogs or whatever sort of modern iteration they'll have at that point in time. But yeah, this is the narrative that's coming out. So they're panicking people about grocery stores, and they're making you feel like, oh, grocery stores are a spreading ground. In fact, I had an article here. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? I thought I had it here. And they were saying, yeah, check this out. This is CNN again. Check this out. Flying can be safer than grocery shopping. You see the narrative, folks? Flying can be safer. Well, what about the movie Contagion that came out on 9/11 there that showed Gwyneth Paltrow sneezing and all the droplets going and circulating through all the people's noses? Oh, no. Grocery stores are more dangerous than flying. Yeah, there you go. So they're setting the narrative not just for not having grocery stores in the future, but also for massive surveillance, like massive scanning before you go in shopping and stuff like that. Setting the narrative for that sort of thing. Look at this guy. What has he got here? Is this like water wings? I guess it's like something you're supposed to sleep with on your neck or whatever, but it's, oh, good Lord, that's silly stuff. And this guy here is a mega maggot. He's a mega maggot. There you go. He's got his American flag here. But that's the narrative. The narrative that's coming forth, folks, is that grocery stores are dangerous. They're going to tell you this. Can you just take your gay music and shove it up your cake hole? God, I hate the world's gayest music is played on what is it called there? Now this bullshit. They always play the marimbas or the xylophone or whatever, right? I like those instruments usually, but not when they're in this. And I freaking hate the ukulele. If I see somebody playing the ukulele, I'm probably gonna murder you. I'm only joking, Canadian government. Come on, seriously. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, here you go. Worried about taking out groceries. And again, we showed you a lot with the grocery stores, the whole narrative, and they were spraying all the food and everything else. Grocery store works puts employees at serious risk for infection, a new study found. Did John Mayerson make that study? These workers likely became a significant transmission source. So they're setting the narrative up. They're going to say, oh, we can't do shopping anymore. This is going to come. Watch. Because they want to take control of all food. This is where they'll bring in the World Food Council. This is where they'll set up the whole distribution. And they'll say, well, we can't have people shopping anyways because, we can't keep up with the supply and we have to ration and we have to, so you're only going to get a certain amount of food and we're going to deliver it to you, sort of thing. Or you're going to go to a depot and pick it up and we'll bring it and give it to you in your car or whatever, sort of thing. We'll use robots. The analysis was published Thursday by the journal Occupation and Environmental Medicine. Okay, who's behind this journal? Where is it from, right? Is the first to demonstrate the significant asymptomatic infection rate, exposure risk, and psychological distress. Grocery. Oh, you poor grocery workers. Oh, you poor people. You're on the front lines. It's like being in World War I. You're on the front. It's the same. You know what it's like to be in the trenches, man. You work at a grocery store, man. You know what it's like. You've got that. Now you're going to see these grocery store clerks with that 1,000-mile stare, like they've seen it all. They've been through it all. They bagged old ladies groceries that had a sniffle. They've seen it. They've seen COVID right up front. They know. They've been on the front lines. They're the heroes. They're the heroes, the frontline workers. So in a study, 20% of 104 grocery workers, 20% of 104 grocery workers with your fake bullshit crappy test. Oh my God, this has gone way too far. Oh, please stop the ride. I'm getting nauseous. Unbelievable. Oh boy. Anyways, let's move on from that. So yeah, you say that experts, Nathaniel Mayerson here. Experts say it may be time for grocery stores to ban customers. There you go. Dozens of grocery store workers have died from really? Can you show me? Is that playing in the movies? Do I have to go to is that a New York Times bestseller? Do I go to the fiction section? Where do I get that? Where can I see that? Where can you show me the proof of all these grocery store workers dying? John Mayerson. Okay, so here everyone in Liverpool will be tested. Everyone? Everyone in Liverpool will be tested as armed forces arrive to launch the first whole city testing operation. Pay attention, everyone. City becomes center of government's key strategy for fighting the virus with hundreds of thousands of quick-fire tests, bringing hopes of more normal Christmas for local. Oh, more hope. The army's coming to test everybody. It gives us hopes of Christmas. Maybe Christmas will be saved after all. Then the army will save us from Christmas. They're going to test everybody. Everyone living or working in Liverpool will be offered regular COVID-19 tests in the first whole city program in the country. The rapid turnaround test available in the city from Friday. 2,000 military personnel will arrive in the city. Yay! Police state! Yay! Police state! Liverpool police state! So they will roll out a program of hundreds of thousands of tests as Liverpool becomes the center of the government's new strategy to fight the virus. The Prime Minister, the prime clown here, Boris Johnson has talked about rapid mass testing as offering a moonshot solution. Moonshot. Could help bring the UK out of the coronavirus crisis. And the key plan will begin in Liverpool this week. Local leaders have been working with the government and put the city forward for a crucial pilot program in the hope that it will drive down infection levels. I don't know. Why don't you just stop testing? Hey, here's a suggestion. If you stop testing people, then people will stop testing positive for the coronavirus. and then there won't be any numbers to back up anything, and then everybody can just go about their business. See there, I just solved all the problems. Stop testing people, and it's all over with. Oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. I have never seen anything remotely like this. I cannot believe this is happening. I cannot believe it. I just blown away. I am blown away. I'm literally blown away by what's going on. I have never seen... can you believe this? It's unbelievable. Wow. Anyways, my prayers go out to you, Liverpool. But of course, Montreal will be next, so... About the asteroid that will destroy Earth right before Election Day. Yep, no, it's not going to destroy anything, of course, because it's just a little stupid asteroid that they love to put out there. And I don't know what's going on here. Oh, that's the flying article. Flying can be safer than grocery shopping. Okay, we saw that one. And then we got Oregon health official dresses as a clown. Speaking of clowns, they're dressed as a clown. I don't know if you saw this. I mean, they're just rubbing it in our faces. They're just like, yep, it's the clown world. Better get used to it. Here they go, so. What the hell is this? Where's the... what is going on here? Why is there a fucking dog running down the street? Where's the clown? Oh, Oregon health official dresses as a clown. And then they got some other video. Maybe I got to refresh it. Maybe they played through the video already. I don't know. Let's see. It says it here, so, yeah. Come on, New York Post. There you go.
Hello. I'm Dr. Claire Pochet. I'm a general pediatrician and also a senior health advisor here at the...
Gee, yeah, you know, I don't know. What are you going to say about these people? Like, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? It's just out of this world. It's out of this world. They are literally like taking giant piles of shit and rubbing it in our faces. That's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. There's no other word for it. What's going on? It is a full-on clown world is what's happening. I mean, it's so utterly out of this world.
Oregon Health Authority. I'm here with Shimi Sharif, my colleague who's also a senior health advisor. And we thought we'd start by giving you a quick update on where we are as a state with COVID-19. As of today, there have been 38,160 cases of COVID-19 in Oregon.
Just read your script. I mean, if you're gonna dress up as a clown, at least try to be funny. What do we got here? We've got news for you. Michigan bars and restaurants will require diners' names and phone numbers. They've been doing this here in Montreal for quite some time, and it's like, yeah, whatever, you know, like, excuse me, sir. Yeah, how about this? F you. Yeah, I got something for you here. Here it is. Yeah, freaking hell, man. Yeah, of course they are, because it's full on freaking unbelievable tyranny.
John, your industry's been hit hard as any in the world. Do you think the president, when you sat down exclusively with him, understood it and knows how to attack?
What is this thing? What is this? Is this a human being? What is this thing? What are these things? What are they? Are they real? Are they real humans? I don't know. I'm not sure. And who is this guy? This guy is what's his name? Do they say here? Freaking hell. I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, Brian, I was actually very, very impressed. You know, he's a hotel guy. He owns restaurants, he owns bars, he owns casinos.
John Taffer.
He started in that basis, and I called him a hospitality guy. He loves the industry.
Unbelievable. I mean, seriously, I can't listen to these people. Anyways, what we got here? Artificial intelligence model detects asymptomatic COVID-19 infections through cell phone recorded coughs. If you ever thought about burning your smartphone, yesterday was a good time, if you get what I'm saying. I mean, seriously, if you thought your smartphone was there to serve you, you are an idiot. You are a bona fide idiot. They have purposely got you to be addicted to your frickin' crack cocaine Black Mirror screen and carry it everywhere with you so that they could implement this type of totalitarianism. It's out of this world. Asymptomatic people who are infected with COVID-19 exhibit, by definition, no discernible physical symptoms of the disease. They are thus less likely to seek out testing for the virus and could unknowingly spread infection to others. I mean, it's a clown world! It's out of this world! So people that have no symptoms, no nothing, are perfectly healthy, but yet we gotta have your phone spy on you because you might have it and you might be spreading it. Unbelievable, folks. I swear to God, the sheeple will kill us all. I mean, the sheeple are the stupidest motherfuckers that have ever lived. I can't handle it anymore. I can't handle the sheeple. I can't handle them. I can't. I just want to say, you don't deserve to have a brain. You need to take that out of your head right now because you don't deserve to have one. Because you refuse to use it. It seems that those who are asymptomatic may not be entirely free of changes wrought by the virus. MIT researchers have now found that people who are asymptomatic may differ from healthy individuals in the way that they cough. These differences are not decipherable to the human ear, but it turns out that they can be picked up by artificial intelligence. In a paper published recently, the IEEE Journal of Engineering of Medicine and Biology, the team that reports on an AI model that distinguishes asymptomatic people from healthy individuals through forced cough recordings, which people voluntarily submit through web browsers and devices such as... Who volunteers for this? Who I want to be spied on for my cough. I mean, seriously. Seriously! Oh, there's no hope. There is seriously no hope. This is so utterly insane. Oh my God, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm sorry, I gotta throw the whole non-profanity thing out the window when it gets this silly, folks. I mean, this is just out of this world. It's out of this world. Of course they're gonna do this. They're gonna do whatever they can, and they're gonna do it, take it even further. Anyways, is there anything else? Gloria Steinem has never seen so much activism in her life. Oh, okay. I wonder why.
I've never seen this much activism in my life, in all of my long life. When I look at 16-year-olds and 22-year-olds, I always say, oh, I just had to wait.
You better wake your ass up! Holy crap! Holy freaking crap! Holy crap, I didn't think this thing was still alive. I had no idea. Did they resurrect her for Halloween? Is that what happened? I mean, seriously. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh my God. Oh my God, the world is so effed. Why do we have these people? Oh my God.
For some of my friends to be born. I'm so glad to see you.
Oh, we love what Gloria just said.
Oh, yeah, we love it. We love it. Yeah. We love it. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It's just
oh, these people. Small asteroid, God. Small one, please. Just the small one. Oh, boy.
Beautiful. And that was a clip from the powerful new documentary, Not Done, Women Remaking America. And the film chronicles the energized women's movement since Trump's win in 2016 through today, featuring trailblazing women paving the way for a more inclusive America.
And we're joined by one of those trailblazers at the forefront of the feminist movement, Gloria Steinem, and the film director, Sarah Wolitzki. Thank you both for being here.
Hey, what do these two people have in common? I don't know! Thank you both for being here! Oh my God. Oh my God. The world is fucked. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's gone too far. God, please come now. Jeez, I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't even know. They had this Antifa thing. Here, check this out. Antifa comrades, on November the 4th, don't forget to disguise yourself as patriots. Trump supporters wearing MAGA hats, USA flag, and 3%er insignias. A convincing police uniform is even better. This way, police and patriots responding to us won't know who their enemies are, and onlookers and the media will think that they are Trump supporters rioting, so it's harder to turn popular opinion against us. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. It's all a shit show. It's all controlled. It doesn't matter who is wearing the MAGA, who is wearing the BLM. It's likely just the same forces at work controlling both sides, obviously. Not that everybody that goes to these things, but it just gives you an idea of how much of confusion and clown world the whole thing is. Oh boy, it's out of this world. I think this one is gonna not live as long on YouTube. I think I'm gonna have to take it down, and maybe by 2030 it'll go up on BitChute. It's possible. We're still waiting for a half a dozen so videos to upload to BitChute. I mean, it's possible that it could get up in the next decade. I'll leave it up for a little bit, but anyways, that's the show for tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. I don't even know what to say. I just don't even know what to say. I just never thought things would turn so quickly like it has, but and we got to do the best that we can. We got to stand up and be the change we want to see, of course, and try to talk to as many people as possible. If you're allowed to talk to people still, because pretty soon you won't be allowed to talk. Of course, you won't be allowed to talk English in the future because they're going to ban English because it spreads the COVID. Wow. It is happening, folks. It's all around us. It's happening. The clampdown is on. So we got to do the best that we can. Anyways, you guys are amazing. Thank you all so much for taking the time to be with me tonight. I hope that you can come and support the show. It's very important if you can. I'm saying only if you can. If you're still hopefully working, and the Patreon link's in the description, and that's the way to support the show. That's the way I get paid. I have another mystery guest coming up. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll be on Thursday, so we're going to work out when we're going to have it. But really great guests lined up for... I like doing the mystery show. It's kind of fun because it's like people, don't know who it's going to be sort of thing. So it's makes it a little bit more intriguing. Gives a little mystery to it. Yeah. I'm going to try to keep my spirits up the best that I can and keep on keeping on sort of thing. Stand up for your rights, stand up for freedom of speech, fight the good fight, do the best that you can while you still can. And yeah, I'll keep on rocking. So you guys are the best. Much love. God bless. I'll let you go with my outro, and I will see you guys all on the next one. Much love. God bless you all. See you soon.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, east and west, north and south, can prosper and live in harmony. 100 generations have searched for this elusive path to peace, while 1,000 wars raged across the span of human endeavor. And today that new world is struggling to be born. A world quite different from the one we've known. A world where the rule of law supplants the rule of the jungle. A world in which nations recognize the shared responsibility for freedom and justice. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, and we will be, and we will be, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order. an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders. What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind: peace and security, freedom, and the rule of law. Such is a world worthy of our struggle and worthy of our children's future. Now we can see a new world coming into view. A world in which there is the very real prospect of a new world order. A world where the United Nations, freed from Cold War stalemate, is poised to fulfill the historic vision of its founders. And that's why I wanted to speak to you today about the new world taking shape around us, about the prospects for a new world order, for a new world order, for a new world order now within our reach.
Time and time again about a new world order. And this is the best chance to begin to establish the new world order. And that's why the stakes are so high.
And after 1989, President Bush said, and it was a phrase that I often use myself, that we needed a new world order. We needed a new world order. We needed a new world order.
Now, much has been said by the Secretary of State and others about a new world order, about a defining moment in history. And how negative or positive it will be will depend on what kind of new world order we really create. Can it really be said that this is a true new world order when it lacks a true United Nations collective security effort?
What do you think America's place in the new world order should be?
No, I think this would be the time, because you really need to bring China into the creation of a new world order.
There's a need for a new world order.
Henry Kissinger pointed out in his superb book on diplomacy, he said, "None of the most important countries which must build a new world order have had any experience with the multi-state system that is emerging. Never before has a new world order had to be assembled from so many different perceptions or on so global a scale."
As I've told you before, because I love it so much, they also created the Great Seal of the United States. And that Great Seal of the United States has on it, Novus Order Seclorum, a new order for the centuries, for the ages, forever, 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 forever.
There is a chance for the President of the United States to use this disaster to carry out what his father, a phrase his father used, I think, only once, and hasn't been used since, and that is a new world order, a new world order, a new world order.
The transatlantic partnership was never just the foundation of our security. It was the foundation of our way of life. It was forged an experience of the most bitter and anguished kind. Out of it came a new Europe, a new world order, a new world order, a new world order, a new world order.
Commander told me that they were not sure they would be able to contain the fire. I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull, and then we watched the building collapse.